Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video, I will be interviewing one of the clinical psychologists working here in Malaysia. So throughout this interview, she will be sharing with us her experience as a clinical psychologist, and she will also be giving you guys some advice in venturing into the mental health field. So let's say if you are interested to find out more about this topic, then do stay till the end of this video. But before that, remember to give this video a thumbs up and also share it out with your friends and family members. Hi, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whoever who is watching this video right now. So today I'm very happy to have a clinical psychologist to finally come up onto my channel to share with us a little bit on her experience of being a clinical psychologist working here in Malaysia. And her name is Andrea Clark. Right now, she's a clinical psychologist working with RELATE Malaysia, which is a Malaysian-based non-for-profit mental health organizations that aims to provide affordable mental health services to the people of Malaysia. So, hi Andrea, welcome to my channel. Yeah, so can you make do a short introduction about yourself and maybe also let us know what got you into studying psychology?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. My name's Andrea and I'm currently a clinical psychologist. I completed my master's last year.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I'm quite fresh. I'm currently with Relate and also a few other companies. So it's like freelance for the others.
Oh.
What got me into psychology? I think growing up, I've had a lot of people around me who had a lot of problems or difficulties that were not verbalized. So they know they have problems, but they don't seek help for it. And they tended to keep everything to themselves and then made them more sad or more anxious. So I was always the person who was the go-to person to talk to. And I wanted to know how to help them a bit more. Not just be a listening ear, but to really help. So yeah, that's what got me into psychology, is to provide help to people who don't seek help, or to provide affordable help, because I think a lot of people don't seek help because of the price. Yeah. So that's what got me into psychology.
Yeah. So since we are talking about psychology, then we can get into the more juicy part of this interview, which is to know a little bit about your day as a clinical psychologist here in Malaysia. Because I noticed that a lot of informations are not available here in Malaysia, especially when we Google, clinical psychologist. A lot of the search result will be, university link asking us to study psychology, but then we don't really know what is it like to be really working as.
Yeah, it was very frustrating, right? To Google it and then not find out. And that's why I went in blind as well. And I found out there's a reason to it. Because every clinical psychologist's day in life would be very different. So for me and for other people, it's very, very different. So one thing about clinical psychology in Malaysia right now, there are not many clinical psychologists, first of all, and there are not many fields or job openings for us. So it's very rare that you find a clinical psychologist who has a full-time job.
Oh.
Like rarer than you would expect.
Okay.
So for me, I'm working part-time in Relate, and I'm an associate, which is like free client-based basis in other platforms. So my day in life would be, I will have each day is different, so it's very flexible timing. So I would have diagnostic assessments where I meet them, get to know them, do history taking, find out what their issue is, and then go through diagnosis to check if they have any diagnosis from the DSM. And then I would have therapy sessions as well. So working through their issues, helping them learn about their thoughts, their behaviors, their emotions, how to make changes. So those are therapy and diagnosis. And then I'll have to do reports and case notes. And I would have to attend trainings and supervisions as well. So my day in life is like that. So it's very flexible. Sometimes it's a full day, sometimes it's maybe 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah, so because I actually saw some articles and also I heard some people talking about it, that even though in a particular session it's about 30 to 40 minutes for one patient, but then the preparation work could get really heavy as well. Yeah, so can you maybe share with us like what are some preparations that you have to do before meeting a patient?
Okay, so for the first intake, what we call an intake interview, there would be, before we even meet them, we have emails with them or calls with them, corresponding, and then getting to know them better. So they have to sign an informed consent to let them know what the therapy would be like and whether they consent to it. And then they will have a brief intake form. So that one is like brief information about them, what they would like to work on. So we'll be preparing that. Then when we meet them, and then we meet them everything and talk to them, then we find out what they want to work on. Then we write our report. So it's kind of like a medical report, where it has their social history, their educational history, their medical history, and everything. So that is before therapy starts.
Oh.
Then right before therapy starts, we would have, I think in our minds, or we will plan out ourselves. So it's called a treatment plan or conceptualization. We will look at how all the problems started, what's maintaining it, do they have support system, and how can we go on from there. Then we work with the client to see what direction they would like to go, what goals they would like to achieve, and then we carry on planning from there. So in between sessions, we would be doing case notes and then treatment planning and conceptualizing like every single time. So I think that's the preparation you're talking about.
I see. So on average, how long would be a normal course of treatment for one patient?
It really depends on the direction you're going. So for CBT, it would be 12 sessions. And then for ACT, it's a different amount of sessions. Yeah.
I see. So when you guys are saying about 12 sessions, but then because I assume your clients sometimes will be very busy as well. So sometimes in between they might skip sessions. So even though they say it's 12 sessions, so it might be like maybe 6 months long, or maybe sometimes it could get over towards 1 year long. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. And then sometimes also financial issues that they can't see as often. Yeah, so that definitely is something that happens, but it's okay. So we would definitely recommend to meet every week or bi-weekly, so that all the skills you learn, you wouldn't forget in between time, right? Because if it's 6 months difference, you forget everything in between. Yeah. I mean, it's recommended as 12 sessions, but sometimes it does go over.
Also, does that mean that on minimum for any treatment, the minimum number of sessions will always be 12 or at least?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a normal.
I see.
But yeah, like theoretically that's 12, but sometimes people after 2 sessions, you're like, oh, I'm fine.
Oh, that happens as well.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So on that note, as a clinical psychologist, what do you find most challenging about being a clinical psychologist?
For me personally, is the fact that I cannot serve as many people as I want to.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people do need help, but because of financial issues or because of the stigma, they don't seek help, and there's not as much accessible therapy platforms for them. So that's why I joined RELATE, which is online. So I think that online is very accessible to many people, because I think all like centers are catered in KL or Penang. So all the smaller towns don't really get many centers with clinical psychologists in them. So I think accessibility is one of the issues. So yeah, being able to serve more.
Yeah, and I do believe that in Malaysia, even though we can see that there is an uptake of awareness on the whole mental health thing, but I still feel that there are really a lot of stigma surrounding this mental health field. Yeah. So for your patient, even though they actually take the initiative to meet you guys, do you feel that they still have like a very strong stigma surrounding like what are the services that they will be receiving? They will be very skeptical about the things that you guys are telling them or whatsoever.
I do not find that they're skeptical, but more of they're scared. So they do not want people to know that they're seeking therapy. So I think there's that stigma there. So they are trusting the process. They are trusting that they should seek help. They know that they should seek help, but they're afraid that other people find out as well. Because like, what if my employer find out? What if they want to hire me? Or what if my family finds out and think that I'm crazy? Yeah, so those kind of stigmas are still there. And sometimes it does affect their self-esteem as well. So they think that, because I'm seeking therapy, it means that I'm weak.
So did you actually have any like real life cases where them seeking help for mental health services that it actually impact their job or even their relationship with their families?
No, actually no.
Okay.
Yeah, so far no one has discriminated any of my clients because they are seeking therapy. And family, definitely there are some conflict, because they are, when they find out, then they're like, yeah, why are you seeking help? We all just get through it. Why can't you get through it? So yeah, we'll be working on with them, like to tell them like, no, seeking help is a sign of resilience and a sign of motivation that you want to help yourself. So there's a lot of psychoeducation that therapy does not mean that you're crazy.
I see. So does that mean that the family is actually stopping the patients to seek help?
Yeah, they don't really stop because the client is paying, but they do have some comments.
Aside from dealing with the patients, sometimes you have to deal with the family members as well.
I have not had an opportunity to deal with families yet because, I mean, they don't like therapy, so they won't come see me, right? But yeah, it's more with my client and helping them manage those emotions that come with all the comments. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So since we've talked a little bit about, the challenges about being a clinical psychologist, then so far in your career, what is your proudest moment of being a clinical psychologist?
I think there are a few. So being a clinical psychologist is one because the path to get to this point was very long. So yeah, that one. And then seeing my clients graduate from therapy, that's another. So there's a few times where they really feel like, wow, therapy has really helped me, or at first they're really scared of therapy, but then they went through it and then went through all the changes and then they feel much better and they learn their own skills. And then they see me a few months later telling me like, oh, I'm really, really doing really great at the moment. Yeah, so those are my proud moments. And yeah, just seeing my clients make the changes that they needed.
Okay, so I think generally people who know about psychology, who know about clinical psychology, we know that as a counselor and even psychologist is actually a very emotional, taxing job. And then one of my friends actually asked a question about emotional contagion. Yeah, so she's asking how you guys actually deal with the negative emotion, such as stress and sadness that might be caused by the patients or sometimes the job itself.
Very good question. How I deal with it is supervision. So all of us, we would normally have a supervisor. So it's either from your center or you hire someone as a supervisor because we need constant training even after graduating. So talking out with your supervisor, talking it out with your peers would be good. So we do not disclose information about clients, definitely, but we can disclose how we feel about it and how it's affecting us. So that's one of the things. And because we're working from home now, we for me, I would have rituals after I'm done with the session. So it will be as if I'm working in an office. So in office, I'll be like, okay, all these issues, I'll leave it in this therapy room and I'll walk out and it's all there. I'm just leaving it there. I'm not bringing it home with me. But now I'm working from home, you'll always be with me, right? So I have like rituals of I'll shut down my computer, I'll go and take a shower and shower as if it's a day off from work kind of thing.
On that note, do you actually heard stories or even yourself, have you actually experienced burnout, due to working from home or the whole COVID situation?
Definitely. Because during the start of COVID, there was like a spike in registrations for new clients.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were trying very hard to help all of them. So seeing them, everything. So it was very tiring and yeah, we cannot get out. We couldn't get out, so we were like trapped in the house and then seeing clients all the time. So yeah, definitely there will be burnout. So one of the things we really emphasized during our course would be to have self-care and to remember your self-care because it's very easy to forget it. You always want to work or you want to study and you forget to do things for yourself. So I think at the start also I forgot self-care and I was just like, I need to see clients, I need to do this. Yeah, but reminding yourself that you need time off because if you don't get time off, you feel sick and then you can't help others anyway. So reminding ourselves that.
So since we are talking about client and also like uptake in registration throughout the COVID-19 or maybe work from home season, so another friend of mine actually asked a little bit about patients or client dropped out. So does that happen very often? So if yes, what are the reason behind it? And if there is anything that you guys, what are the ways that we could do in order to help? Let's say if we have friends or we have people around us that go for treatment, what are the things that we could help them in order to stick to their treatment, to make sure that they actually finish the whole course of treatment?
Yeah. Okay, so the first part would be dropouts and why, right? So definitely there are a lot of dropouts. It may be because of financial reasons, because the sad thing about mental health in Malaysia is not covered by insurance, so a lot of people cannot afford it. So that would be one of the reasons. Second reason would be conflicts with therapists. Maybe they found that they couldn't click with the therapist. and then they didn't want to like change therapists, so they didn't want to continue. And most common one would be they were not ready for change, or they were not ready to explore whatever they needed to explore. So I think maybe they realized like, oh, if I just come to therapy and then not change myself, that would be a waste of money and time. So they'll drop out for a bit and maybe come back another time.
Okay.
And for what friends and family can do, I think just be very supportive and get to understand like they are seeking help, they are trying their best at the moment. So there's going to be a lot of changes, there's going to be a lot of maybe sometimes you get mood swings because you explore different things in you. So just be supportive of them, be there for them, and tell them like, yeah, I'm very proud of you for seeking help. This is a very big step, because it is a big step, it is scary.
Yeah.
So it's a very big step you're taking. So I'm here if you need support. And then sometimes they would have homework to do in between sessions. So maybe friends and family can remind them of that and like check in on them. How are you doing with your homework? How are you doing with this practice? Yeah.
Hello guys, it's me again. Yes, that's it for part 1. So if you're interested to find out more about this interview, don't forget to come back to my channel again next week, which I will be uploading the part 2 of this interview. But in the meantime, if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also share it out with your friends and family members. Let's say if you're interested to find out more about psychology and also personal development content, then do not forget to hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss any of my future content. Till then, I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye bye!